A ghost nun tried to steal me out of my mother's womb because she lost her baby. The legend was that she's been looking for her baby ever since. Hi, this is the Times of Aimee Lou Wood. The time I first learned I was going to be in the White Lotus, I was in a toilet cubicle in a bar in Peckham. December 2023, I had done my callback with Mike on Zoom. I was like obviously trying to put it out of my mind, but was also kind of like, Mike told me like the whole plot on that meeting, and I feel like I just had but I didn't want to be too confident, but I felt a bit sure, but also didn't want to be sure because then didn't want to be disappointed. But anyway, the next night I was out with my friends, had loads of missed calls and a text from Mike White being like so excited. I went back into the bar and I saw my friends and said, guys, I've got it. I was jumping up and down and screaming and being really happy, but in my head also absolutely terrified. And then the lovely guy who works at the bar was like, what are you all so excited about? And we told him, which maybe I shouldn't have done because it hadn't been announced at that point. But I told him, and then he put the theme tune on in the bar. The whole bar knew. I'm sorry for any of my NDAs, but the whole bar knew. I hadn't signed one at that point, to be fair. The time I laughed most on set on the White Lotus, for the first time ever, our set was also where we were staying. So we lived on our set because you live in the hotel that we're filming in. So it means that the set, it was like we were always on set. And so I would say that it was the evenings after we've wrapped and we're all debriefing, and we would have, you know, margaritas by the pool and just, yeah, have fun. But it's weird because it was 24 hours set life basically, which is very unusual and way more like a reality show than a fictional drama. But Parker Posey made me laugh constantly. I've had like maybe two moments on screen with Parker where we're just like happen to be near each other, but in reality I could hear her sometimes when we were filming the breakfast scenes or the dinner scenes. That's the only time that we're all together really, and I could hear what was going on behind me in their little set, the Ratliff section, and I would hear the choices she was making. I would just be sat at the Rick and Chelsea table like there's like sheer hilarity and comedy gold going on behind us, and I just want to watch. I just want to turn around and watch Parker Posey do magic. Mike is also really funny, and you would have this thing where it would be the best feeling if you could hear Mike's like maniacal, mischievous laugh like coming down the wind, and you'd like know that you'd done a good job because you'd sit there and you'd just hear, he just won't hold it in. The time that something went most wrong on stage, I'd always wanted those stories about like things going wrong in the theatre, but every play I'd done, nothing had ever really gone that wrong. And then I did Cabaret. There were a lot of people passing out. So there were a lot in the audience. There were a lot of show stops. I think because people have so much champagne at that show, the whole like immersive Kit Kat Club thing, people kind of get too into, like they actually think it's a club, so that everyone gets a little bit rowdy. We found someone's tooth in the theatre one time. That theatre was chaos. I don't know what, there's some Scorpio energy in that joint, I'm telling you, that's scorpionic. The time I was closest on giving up on acting is just like, I couldn't even answer that one because it's just a daily argument in my head. I'm like, oh no, I really want to do this. Oh my God. The last time I experienced the supernatural, I'm trying not to be so woo-woo, but something supernatural happened to me before I was born. A ghost nun tried to steal me out of my mother's womb because she lost her baby. The legend was that she's been looking for her baby ever since, but my mum did not know that story. The hotel, it was like a thing that used to be a nunnery and then it had turned into a hotel. My dad said, oh, is this place haunted? It feels haunted. Mum was like, please don't tell us, I don't like that stuff, it freaks me out, don't tell us. That night, she feels like hands on her wrist and like this weight on top of her. She's screaming, but nothing's coming out. Eventually, she can make a noise and she's like, calling for my dad. And I was like, what the bloody hell's going on? And she's like, something was happening. The day after, when they were leaving, they said, you can tell us the story now because we're going. The lady at the hotel was like, there was a pregnant nun who died and she's been looking for her baby ever since. And my mum was pregnant with me. The time that someone gave me advice that I'll never forget is Jim Howitt saying to me, never be afraid to be the clown. That's just stuck with me so much, because the clown is really truthful. The clown is sad, funny, scary, like crazy. Don't be afraid, like be the clown when you get any part or even in life. Just embrace embarrassment and don't try and be cool. Don't try and be cool, because it's the coolness that makes you self-conscious, and then you won't be truthful. The time I've been most starstruck was when I had a meeting with Steve McQueen. It wasn't an audition, didn't have anything to learn, it was just a chat. He opened the door and he said hello, and I burst into tears and then couldn't stop. I actually couldn't stop crying, to the point where we had to call it. I couldn't get any words out. And he would ask me a question like, so have you got any brothers and sisters? And I'd be like, yeah, I've got, and I'd just start again. I couldn't, it was so deeply overwhelming. And I was so embarrassed afterwards. I was going to send him this like apology message, and then my therapist was like, this would be a really good point to not say sorry, because you were just experiencing emotions. And actually he did give me a part, and he didn't find the meeting that weird. He was just like, she was emotional, which was a big moment of not being too ashamed of being an emotional and a sensitive person. But I didn't even get to do the job because the sex education filming schedule did not allow it. So after all that, but Steve is still my hero. Can we do something else? Because that was tragic. Don't forget to subscribe. This is what they do, isn't it?